All right, welcome back. You need to start this video lesson before you begin lessons 1A, 1B, and 1C, but after you've watched the introduction to Photoshop. So this is a little bit more advanced. This is after you've opened up Photoshop, you started to learn where some of the tools and panels are. Now we're ready to start digging in and doing video lessons. So if you haven't already opened up Photoshop, you do need to open up Photoshop and follow along. If you need help split screening, call me over and I can show you how to split screen if you haven't already learned this. All right, so once you have Photoshop open, it probably is going to open up to your home screen. If not, if you have a file open, so I'm going to open a file really quickly just so that we can see how to go back to home. So if you've opened up Photoshop and it actually opens up the program, click on your home button. It's in the top left, and this is going to bring you to your home screen. Okay, so you've got some options over here. So obviously home is going to show you all of your files. So if you are a student who is in multiple classes with me, let's say you are in the print shop class and computer graphics class, both your Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator files may show up in here. But for you guys, most of the time you're going to click on your files. You won't have anything in the shared with you. However, I will. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to show you it just for a second so that you see why it's important for you to label your files correctly. So when you are working on your files and you save them, remember that I always ask that you write whatever the lesson is, so 1A, lesson 1A, 1B, 1C, whatever, and then you add your name at the end, just like Brooklyn did here. That's important because when I go to grade, I'm going to search for your name or a specific file. So if I'm searching for a specific student's work, I'm going to type in the name, they're all going to show up here. If I'm grading a certain project and I've asked you to label it as such as the yearbook cover assignment project that we do, I'm going to do that and it's going to show up. So it's really important that when you save your files that you name them correctly. Okay, so let's say you didn't name them correctly. Okay, you went to turn something in and I told you I can't find it, and you open it up and you're like, oh, I have it, I didn't label it correctly. So what you can do is from your files home screen, there is those three little buttons. You can click on this and you can rename it and it will let you rename it. You can also move it into one of your folders that I'm going to show you in a second, and you can delete it. Okay, so that's under the shared with you. That's all you need to know about that. So let's click on your files. So again, if you click on your files, it's going to show you all the files that you have access to. That includes the ones that have been shared with you as well. You can sort them by date modified, name, whatever. So under your files, we are going to create some folders because as you can see here, you're going to wind up with lots of files if you don't have some system. So we're going to click on the new, and I want you to call this video lessons and click save. That's important that you have that set up because from now on, whenever you go through and do a video lesson, you need to make sure that you save it in this video lessons folder. So you can see that it has shown up right there. Okay, so you've got video lessons. Let's click the plus sign again, and this time we're going to call it projects. Now mine's going to not let me save because I already have one set up, but you go ahead and click save. All right, so now you have your two folders. So yours should look really clean. You probably only have two folders in here right now. This is where you're going to share. Excuse me, this is where you're going to save your files to. So watch me do this. The next video is going to take you through it. It's one last review. So if I go to File Open, or if I click Open here, if you need to get to the different places. So if I go to File Open, it's going to open up this browser. This is how you navigate. Your courses is here. The other video is going to take you through it. But once you open a file, once you open it for the first time, if you've opened a file that's in the computer or on the network, in other words, you didn't open it from the Adobe Cloud, you need to save it. You'll go to Save As, and this is the first time you have to do it. You do not want to put on your computer. This is going to save it back to the network or your folder here in the physical building. We don't want that. We want it in the cloud so you can access it and share it. So you'll save it to that Creative Cloud. And this is where you need to find that folder. So find the appropriate folder. So if this is a video lesson, you would find the video lessons folder. You can rename it if you need to at this point in time, and then you click Save. Now from here on out, I'm going to go to my folder. Whenever I start working on something I've already saved, it's now in here and I no longer have to save it. The moment I close it, it's going to save that in there. So if I reopen that, see that little swishes is in there. All right. If you have any questions, call me over before you begin lessons 1A, 1B, 1C. Go ahead and get started and have some fun learning about Photoshop.